From CBS 3 Duluth, this is the CBS 3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke. Thanks for joining us. A tragic update tonight after a home exploded and caught fire near Lake Vermilion this morning. Tonight we learned one person inside the home died and another was seriously hurt. 911 calls started coming in around 9:30. People reported a loud boom on the 1700 block of Everett Bay Road in Greenwood Township. First responders found the man who owned the home in the yard with serious injuries. He was flown to a hospital, but we don't know his condition tonight. Later today, authorities found human remains inside the home and determined they belonged to a woman who lived there. Authorities have not identified the victims yet. CBS 3's Quinn Gorham spent the day on scene speaking with authorities and neighbors on that rural road. Quinn, what have you learned?
Well, I was able to actually talk with a couple of homeowners in the area earlier today. If you take a look down the road here, when we arrived, there were emergency response vehicles all the way down this road, almost 4 houses down. So a lot of vehicles here. Now there's only a few remaining in this area. You can take a look down the driveway here. There's one vehicle down there. They're still trying to investigate the cause of the fire, and that's one of many questions we're still trying to answer at this time. What we can tell you is the home was completely leveled and crews were able to get the fire under control that was caused from the explosion. But we haven't been able to actually make our way down there because it's so heavily wooded and it's private property. So we do have a couple of pictures. Here's some of them now. While we were out here today, we spoke with a neighbor a few properties down who didn't want to share his name, but he told us he felt the explosion and ran to see what happened. He called 911 and said crews were on scene within 15 minutes. He described a thick black plume of smoke over the water, but says crews had it under control within an hour or so. Mark Lato, another homeowner who lives more than a quarter mile down the road, says he could hear the explosion loud and clear from his own property.
I mean, I'm a quarter mile away and it was so loud in my house shook. Yeah. And like I said, I thought a tree hit the house, it was so loud.
Now, several fire departments were on scene when we arrived earlier, including Greenwood, Braiding Township, Tower, and Vermilion Lake Township. Now, as we mentioned, the explosion is still under investigation. They've sent crews from the St. Louis County Sheriff's Office and the Minnesota State Fire Marshal to come investigate the cause of the explosion this morning. What I can tell you, what we've heard from one of the property owners in the area is this area doesn't have access to natural gas. So a lot of these homes rely on propane for fuel. Now, again, we don't have a definitive cause on the fire, and that'll likely come in the coming days or weeks when that investigation is complete. But for now, those are all the details we have. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, CBS 3's Quinn Gorham reporting live for us from Lake Vermilion tonight. Thank you, Quinn.